Have the dragons all left the cave? Well, looks like things are not so peachy keen for Blake Lively and Taylor Swift's friendship, as Travis Kelce has just hit the unfollow button of Mr. Ryan Reynolds. Plus, Blake Lively's mom and her story are getting dragged on the internet because people think that Blake is exploiting it for her own personal gain. And we have a new Real Housewives of Beverly Hills divorce that was filed over the weekend. Lots to get into. Let's get it. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, serve fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. Hi guys, what's up? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. How's it going, everybody in the club? What's up? How's your Monday kicking off? I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I hope you got a little litty city. Went on some cute dates. I don't know. I went on a cute date. Yeah, I had a good time. I had a very, very nice weekend. I cleaned, I cooked, I cleaned. Somebody tell me why I ain't got this ring. Gobble me, swallow me, drip down the side of me. Quick jump out for you, let it get inside of me and tell him where to put it. Never tell him where I'm about to be. Talk your bite your ask for a car while you ride that yeah. Yes, Gwen Campbell in the live chat is asking, how was Countess Luann? Countess was great. I had a really good time with Stu. Look at, I even have some photos that I can share. We had so much fun. We got to go. I feel like I have a story about Countess Luann this past weekend. I don't know if I may have to save it for members only. I feel like I need to get better about that type of stuff because the tea, there was tea from this. I was actually, there was tea from this night. But it was a good night. Not tea about Luann, I'll say that. The Luann, it was quite the adventure, right? I'd seen the videos of Luann on TikTok, and then I finally got to experience the cabaret with the Countess IRL in person. And like I said, it was quite the adventure. I did not expect. We had a good time, but I was definitely a little. There we go. There's the photo. Look at, there's us. We got to go and hang out with Lou and have a lot of vodka sodas and Aperol spritz and just live life. It was fun. We went out to WeHo afterwards, which I normally don't do. My friend Jacques was there. Stu was there. We met other people. We met Brandy, or I met Brandy and Julie. If you guys used to listen to Jeff Lewis Live, or I guess now they make regular appearances on Juicy Scoop and they have their own show. Brandy and Julie were quite the hoot. I enjoyed hanging out with them and meeting them for the first time. Julie's a good time. I'll say that. Like I like Julie. Like I can hang out with her a little bit more. She was a lot of fun. But it was good. It was a good time. She's money can't buy you class. Elegance is learned, my friends. Elegance is, and then she was doing the bongos and she was like, "Grrr." Listen. Stu seems very fit. He did 75 hard. And yeah, his body has gotten a lot more fit this year. He was even saying, he's like, my thighs don't rub together anymore. And I was like, well, that's a good time. You know, I actually have some clips from Countess Luann. So maybe I'll play a little clip for you. But it was good. Travis left the chat. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Zack, you look so cute and tan in that pic. Thank you. I tried. I was trying to look cute and tan. I'm trying to be extra tan for summer. Enrique said, I love Stu. Yeah, everybody loves Stu. Jem says, my Justice for Justin shirt came in this weekend, wearing it today while I look for a new washer and dryer. Love that. Get it. Live your best life. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Get it. Get it. All right. Shall we dive in? Well, actually, really quickly before we dive in, I did just want to remind everybody that if you have not yet gotten your tickets to come see me on tour this summer, the Zactivated tour kicks off Dallas, Phoenix, Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles. Get your tickets now at No Filter Live. It's a live taping of the podcast. Not some person, but there was a woman online. She was like, "What do you do, Zack, on tour?" She's like, "Do you do stand up? Do you sing?" I was like, "Oh, you want me to sing on stage?" Money can't. I look like Countess Luann with the bongos, but money can't buy you class. Elegance is left hand. So get your tickets. I'm not going to be singing. I probably will not be singing, but it'll be a live taping of the podcast. We'll spill tea. We'll have a lot of your favorite creators in different cities and special guests. So the show will be broken up into 2 parts. Part 1 will be a panel of different creators, reporters, insiders, and we'll break down whatever news is popping that week. That will be deep into Discovery at that point and the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni drama. So you can come break it down with us in person. And then there will be a special guest interview at each show. So stay tuned for that. We kick things off July 11th in Dallas. We're going to Dallas, Phoenix, Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, and wrapping things up in Los Angeles. Tour dates are right here. You can also go to nofilterlive.com. You can see tour dates, venues, get your tickets. Go right now. Get them while you can. Get it while it's hot. All right. Let's start with, what do we want to start with? I guess let's start with Blake Lively and her mom, because that was quite the talk of the town over the weekend. So as we talked about on Friday, Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds attended the Time 100 gala because Blake Lively was named. She's one of the people. She was named Titan of 2025. Good for her, right? Titan of 2025. Enrique asked, will there be virtual live stream options for those outside the US? Not at this time. I don't think that we'll be doing virtual. We won't be live streaming the shows. Unfortunately, I don't, as of right now, we don't have any plans to do any live streams, but stay tuned. But so Blake is come under fire because her mother, I guess, is a survivor, is some sort of I guess survivor is a better word rather than victim. Her mom Elaine joined her at the Time 100 gala, and Blake made her big grand speech where she talks about her mom and how she has her mom in her life. And a lot of people are like, well, where was this story back when you were doing the promotion of It Ends With Us? Like, why? Like, it feels like now you're just conveniently exploiting your mother's experience. And I agree. I think it does feel very much like she's trying to gain sympathy and she wants to. I don't want to believe that she would stoop this low to use her mom's story. But like, I understand how people, I think there are a lot of people online that are misinterpreting or at least interpreting it as her mom was possibly essayed, because she says that, the crime against her mother was one of the worst crimes you could ever commit against a woman, which to me in 2025, I thought the worst crime we could commit against a woman is to misgender her. But anyway, she doesn't specifically say what her mom's experience is, with exception for the comment about her mom, almost losing her life. And so that's why it was like, she was implying, is that not what she was implying? I don't know what she was implying. I guess she was kind of implying that without directly saying that. I think she's now learned that when she makes declarations, we will indeed pick them apart. So I think she thinks it's better to be vague so that people can kind of come to certain conclusions. But I feel like she kind of did that with the lawsuit, right? Like she insinuated certain things without giving us the full context. Yes, I agree with Vi and the Vi Pan in the live chat. It's very manipulative and it's meant to make us believe something and we don't actually know it for true. But at the same time, to look at it objectively and to, kind of give her the benefit of the doubt here. I'm not saying that I agree with her, but just if we want to really look at it objectively, I can understand how maybe during the promotion of It Ends With Us, she wasn't comfortable sharing her mother's story because it's her mom's story to tell and not her own. Or she may not have even known about this story prior because, as she said in her speech, this happened 3 years before she was even born. So I'm not entirely sure when Blake Lively became privy to this story, if it's something her mom decided, hey, let me give you this story now. That way you have something that you can use to connect with people about DV and SA and SV and all of those things. But it's just I want to believe that she wasn't trying to use this for a moment, but unfortunately, all we've seen in her pattern of behavior, and I hate to say this, like I really do, it does trouble me to even question her because I absolutely we believe that we should believe women and survivors, but unfortunately, we have to be skeptical in today's age because we've seen people take advantage of these things. And so I think when it comes to Blake Lively, she was very much trying to insinuate something that she wasn't fully clear about. And it would have been an even more powerful opportunity had she known about the story prior to focus on that and amplify her mother as a survivor, right? When she was doing all these Betty Buzz pop-ups, she could have very easily made it, a moment of empowerment and used her mom. But instead, she said that she didn't have anybody that she didn't have a direct connection or direct experience to someone that had experienced SA or SV or DV. So that tells me maybe she didn't know this story. So is this something her mom kind of gave her now as something to use? I don't want to believe that they made this up entirely. I'm pretty sure her mom had a very traumatic experience, all those decades ago. It's just I don't it's hard because it's like everything she says is like her credibility is completely shot and she's already weaponized and taken advantage of certain things in her lawsuit and in some of the claims that she's made already that it's hard to believe her at this point. And that's the unfortunate part. And that's where it then makes the waters even muddier for other women that want to come forward with SH or SA claims, you know? Lisa R says she should not have been discussing that at the event. It just felt, yeah, I agree with Jem. It just felt a little too convenient. And from what we've learned, she likes to lean in when things are convenient. And it's very much about image and saving face. And it all comes from a place of ego, you know, which is unfortunate. Laura says Donna has tea on the mom. Donna does have tea on the mom. And that's the thing. Donna knows all about Elaine, Blake's mom. And here's the thing. I know all about their family. Like I know people that knew their family and have been friends with their family or worked for their family. It's pretty bold to throw your mom into the mix, considering every person you seem to drag in seems to be um, getting torched along with you. Blake never mentioned what she was actually honored for. That's true. She wasn't like, thank you. Yeah, we still don't know. No, she was. We saw the video last week from the Time CEO. She was honored for one, her 2019 NAACP donation, but also because the editor, or sorry, the CEO of Time Magazine thought that Blake was having a good year. So Enrique says, my question is, where is Eric Lively? I haven't seen him in public in 10 years. I love Eric. He's a great actor. I don't know where Eric Lively is these days. Don't. Yeah, Irma Sanchez says it felt too convenient. Blake has a thin skin. She acts like she was not ruffled, but she started a fan for taking a photo of her. Stared at a fan for taking a photo of her. Yeah. She's having a good year. Yeah, that's why Time Magazine picked her, 'cause she's having a good year. Lori Smith says, I'm a survivor of SA, so this is disturbing for people to use. I agree. I really do. It's a shame. The NAA, so yeah, it was from her donation, the NAACP donation, was from a plantation wedding. Elridge said it was a woman coworker that tried to unalive her mother. Oh, interesting. Well, again, see, when you have one, I need to watch Elrich's video to get a full update on that. But this is the part that is so disturbing to me is that like you give us this little piece of information that we're just supposed to assume that it was a man. We're supposed to assume that, something nefarious happened and it was probably somebody, she said it was a coworker. So it was probably somebody higher up the ladder. And, like it's just the way, and again, very similar to the Jamie Heath video, right? Remember the video, the birthing still that she then said made her really uncomfortable and she didn't want to see it, but and she described it as pornography. And it's like, well, but it wasn't. That's actually not what was happening, and it was in relate like, the context of that entire piece was very relevant. It was in relation to a birthing scene coming from one of the producers of your film. He was showing you a very wholesome very wholesome video that for you to then miscategorize that and to weaponize that and to frame it as videos of pornography or him showing you videos of his wife, in a distasteful way, and she wasn't even sure that he had her permission to share this video. Like it was just such an egregious stretch of what actually happened. So it's just, and then to have her mom get dragged into it the same way. I get why people are upset. I do. And even right now, in trying to give her the benefit of the doubt and be like, well, maybe she didn't know this story, and you know, maybe she didn't want to share her mom's experience before her mom was ready to share it. But I mean, if RHOBH is dug and we found out that it was a feat, and that doesn't make it any better. But to say that this is the worst crime you could commit, the worst act you could commit against a woman, implies that it was a man and implies SVSA, right? Not SH, not harassment, but assault. It very much implies that something, more happened to her. And the fact that you even want to put that out there about your mother, whether that's true or not, but the fact that you're just going to take this public platform as a moment to put that out there. Yeah. Lively focused so much of her speech on how her mother greatly influenced her life, sharing her mom's experience. I mean, what a great speech that would have been last summer during the promotion of It Ends With Us, you know? It's amazing to see how far Ryan Reynolds' tentacles are stretching. Well, they seem to be the tentacles seem to be getting chopped off because Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, has just unfollowed Ryan Reynolds. So TMZ reported this morning. Um, that I guess they appear to be losing their dragon. So we've already heard rumblings that Taylor Swift is kind of annoyed and upset with Blake Lively. They're not really friends. We've heard that Blake has tried to apologize. We've heard that Blake has reached out, and that, we've had these little stories that are like, no, they're actually fine. They're good. Whatever. They've made up. Taylor's forgiven her. I don't think Taylor's forgiven her. I think Taylor's fucking pissed. I think Taylor wants nothing to do with any of this and keeps getting dragged into it. And now Travis is getting dragged into it because he decided, I'm done with them. I'm going to unfollow Ryan Reynolds, which is the first person to do that, right? Nick Viall's all up Ryan Reynolds' ass. Brandon Sklenar's all up Ryan Reynolds' ass. Like, this is the first person that we've seen. And this is a power player, right? Like, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are a power couple. They are the couple of the now. They're the moment, right? Everybody's been talking about them for the last couple years. And now here we are. Boom. The dictionary defines influence as Blake is going to be in her next song. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Kayla says it's an actual slap in the face to have this little girl cry wolf of experiencing SHSA well, she hasn't claimed SA. She's only claimed SH, let's be clear. To us real victims who still work hard through trauma and still left with our bodies and our minds decades. I agree. It is infuriating. It is. I mean, I've never talked about not my own personal experience, but like the people in my life that I love that have experienced that, you know? I mean, I didn't even think of exploiting, those stories. To me, I know right and I know wrong. And so it's not about whether I've been personally affected by this, which I have, not me directly, but there have, or well, I mean, whatever, we all have experiences, but I'm just saying, like, there are people in my own personal inner circle, and I would never think to put their stories out there, especially if I were in Blake Lively's position, right? I would never do that to the people in my life that I love, that I know have had these experiences or that have, and we don't need to be vague about the details. The details are very clear of what has happened to them. So to me, it makes me even more upset because I'm like, if I knew that I was a lightning rod in our culture right now and that most of the internet did not like me and they thought that I was a liar and everybody around me continued to fall with me by proximity, I would be like, stay away from me. I love you. You can support me behind the scenes, but the last thing I want you to do is be dragged into this mess with me. You know, I would never want anybody to have to go through that, let alone my own mother, dragging her mom into it. Because now everyone's going to be digging into her mom's past. And everyone's going to be digging into, how her mom's own behavior. Anyway, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, they seem to be done with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Understandably so. You know, I mean, like I said, we've heard that their relationship is rocky. We know Taylor Swift doesn't want to be a part of this. So over the weekend too, we had Marvel. They issued a letter to the judge. Actually, let's pull that up, shall we? Because they're already like, it seems like everybody with a brain kind of wants to be get your tickets, grab your friends, wear your florals, going on tour. Let's see, here it is. The Marvel letter. Dun 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 dun. So this came on behalf of Marvel to Judge Lehman. Is it Lehman or Lyman? We're going to say Lyman. Judge Lyman. This firm represents non-party Marvel Entertainment LLC. We write pursuant to federal rules of civil procedure 26 and 45. They want to exercise the protective order. And they want to, one, quash the subpoena issued to Marvel from the Wayfair parties, and two, issue a protective order prohibiting the disclosure of Marvel's confidential documents by any party or other non-party in this action. Alternatively, Marvel requests that the court stay the return date of the subpoena and related document requests after the court decides the pending motion to dismiss of the counterclaims defendant Ryan Reynolds. The subpoena concerns the creation and development of one of the characters in the Marvel film Deadpool and Wolverine. Marvel is aware that Wayfair parties have served document requests for the same documents from Reynolds. As discussed more fully below, the requested documents are proprietary and highly confidential, and their disclosure is likely to substantially harm Marvel. Oh, why? Because your actor went on the loose? Is that what's gonna... No, what harmed Marvel in all of this was your lead actor being a fucking douchebag. All right? Get out your handy dandy notebook and write this down. The reason you're in this mess is because of your lead star, Ryan Reynolds, who abused his power on the set of your movie. That's why you're dealing with this drama right now. Okay? Put a period in that handy dandy notebook. The subpoena concerns the creation and the development of a character from Deadpool, and furthermore, the documents are irrelevant to the claims in this case. I don't think so. They're meant to prove damages. They're meant to show that Ryan Reynolds was trolling Justin Baldoni. They're meant to show his role, and it was even referenced in Ryan Reynolds' response, right, where he just said this was a lawsuit of hurt feelings, that he has hurt feelings over this Nice Pool character. Well, now that we're talking about the Nice Pool character, I guess we should dive into the Nice Pool character. Sorry you're dragged into this, Marvel, but like Taylor Swift, you're dragged into it because of Blake and Ryan, okay? You're not getting out of this one. Deadpool and Wolverine is a film by Marvel Studios. Reynolds is one of the writers of the film and stars in the main character, Deadpool. The film was released in July of 2024. It's the third features a number of different versions of the Deadpool character, including Lady Deadpool, Dogpool, Kidpool, Headpool, and Nicepool. The Wayfair parties make a brief reference to Nicepool in the first amended complaint. Specifically, they allege that Reynolds and Lively continued to leave their breadcrumbs in their campaign for mocking and bullying plaintiff Justin Baldoni, including Nicepool in Deadpool and Wolverine, as a vicious caricature of Baldoni, and that the scenes with Nicepool were intended to be transparent and mocking the portrayal of Reynolds' warped perception of Baldoni. Yes, that's the claim. That's why we need to see the documents, okay? So, again, get out the handy-dandy notebook. Take notes. You're going to court, okay? Grab your friends, wear your florals. Go call Disney, Marvel. Go get Disney. Grab your friends. Guys, wear your florals. We're going to court. Okay? We're going to court. Don't fight the process. Like, we're all ready to find justice in this case. Let's get it. Oh my God. Irma said 95.6 subscribers. You guys, we're less than 5,000 subscribers away from 100,000. Thank you, Irma, for reminding me. I saw that this morning. We're actually at 95.5 this morning. 95.5, the beat. So, yeah. But so this is telling me that if Brian Friedman has already sent a subpoena to Marvel, then I'm pretty damn sure that Taylor Swift has already been deposed. pretty sure Hugh Jackman has already been deposed because we saw the report in the Daily Mail, what was it, at the top of last week that says they're about to be deposed any day now. Well, guess what? Guess what? If Marvel's already gotten their subpoena, I'm pretty damn sure so has Taylor Swift. I'm pretty sure been deposed, and now they have to actually get to the final rows. Now we have to actually get into depositions, which are starting. They have to be done by, what was it, August 14th? We have until August 14th to get those depositions in. Marvel, Blake Brown and Marvel have both written letters to the judge saying, sorry, judge, we don't want to participate. This doesn't involve us. I'm sorry, that's not your decision whether this involves you or not. And somehow you're involved. And now that you're involved, and now that you're part of the conversation, we want tickets. Sorry, we want answers. I saw Brittany says if we don't buy their tickets and products, they will lose their power. See, that's what happens when you're multitasking. You have too many tabs open. You say, we want tickets. Zack, you're deaf. Going to court, please. I know that's right. Irma says, let's go depositions. So maybe that's why Travis Kelce unfollowed Ryan Reynolds, because is he still following Blake Lively? Was he ever following Blake Lively? Because maybe Taylor Swift got her deposition notice saying, hey, guess what, Dragon, you're coming on in. Khaleesi has summoned you. Let's see, Travis Kelce. Actually, why don't we just do this live rather than checking my phone? We're all in this together, and we know that we are. We're all stars. Make our dreams come true. Okay. Again, get your tickets. Be sure to get your tickets to this activated tour. NoFilterLive.com. What do we do? Oh, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce. Here we are. Following. Dun, 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 dun. And we're looking for Blake Lively. Nope, not following Blake Lively. Ryan Reynolds. There's no Van City. Van City. Rack City, bitch. Rack City. Rack City, bitch. Is he following Taylor? Oh, he's not even following Taylor Swift. That's random. But he was following Ryan Reynolds at some point. So he unfollowed Ryan Reynolds. Interesting. He doesn't even follow Taylor Swift. Are they broken up? Could that be? Is Taylor Swift even on his feed? There's no Taylor Swift on the feed. They're not broken up, though, are they? There's no way. Who is this? It's your bestie, Miss Westie. Oh, she's not following anyone. Interesting. Blake, I'm sure, is still following her. Oh, Blake's still following Brandon Sklenar. Blake's following Taylor. Blake does not follow Travis. Does Ryan Reynolds follow Travis? Oh, so cute. Yeah, they went to the Wrexham AFC. I guess I didn't realize Ryan Reynolds owns Wrexham, the team, and they won, and so they were celebrating. And then the stadium also had Betty Boos. See, she has her little Betty Buzz. Oh, so cute. Oh, look at us. Amazing. Look at Betty Buzz. Come get your Betty Buzz at Wrexham Stadium or wherever. Yeah, this is Wrexham Stadium. So, yeah, they were like, oh, we're so cute. There's Michelle Maroney because we have to remember she still has friends. Oh, my God, Michelle Maroney. What? No way. So cute. Oh, my gosh. Let's go Wrexham. Look, here's the Betty Buzz little window promoting Betty Buzz. So clearly Betty Buzz has a budget to sponsor. Interesting. Interessante. So they're doing the damn thing. Where is Van City? Let's see. Is Van City following Travis? Oh, Van City still follows Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce has unfollowed Van City. So Travis is no longer following Ryan Reynolds, but Ryan Reynolds is still currently following Travis Kelce. Interesting. Does he follow Taylor? Like, oh my God, Taylor. Oh, wow. Interesting. Oh, who else is he following? Oh, interesting. He follows Whitney Cummings, but Whitney Cummings is not loyal to Ryan Reynolds. This one is so interesting to me. I love M, but I have so many questions. Still following Brandon Sklenar. Okay. Follows people. Okay. Of course, he's going to follow Michelle Maroney, Logan Paul, Nickelback. He follows Nickelback? That's interesting. Joe Jonas, Jennifer Garner, Lily Singh, Tracy Ellis Ross, Tom Brady, Jonathan Van Ness. I haven't heard that name in a minute. Jimmy Kimmel, Jelly Roll, Martha Stewart. Interesting. JT, Mariah, Chevy Chase. Oh, because Chevy Chase took a photo with them. Remember? Chevy Chase took a photo with them at the SNL. Hank Green, Niall Horan, Jimmy Kimmel. Okay. Nick Viall, of course. Charlie Puth. Drew Barrymore, Tabitha Brown, Madonna, Cedric, Zach Bryan, Shania Twain. See, he's following all these big people. And Nick Viall, Pink, Shawn Mendes, Chris Hemsworth, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Wesley Snipes, Blake Brown Beauty. Oh, is it beauty now? Are they now becoming beauty? Are they expanding beyond hair care? Oh, he's following Ryan Reynolds fan pages. Cute. So cute. Wicked, the movie. Christopher Scott, Free Guy. That was his movie. Interesting. It's quite the eclectic. Who's David Eby? Vincent, If the Movie. There's Travis Kelce. Oh. John Krasinski. Oh, well, that's interesting that he's following John Krasinski. There's Maxim Mappe. It's interesting that he's following John Krasinski because Stanley Tucci and what's her name? Emily Blunt, who's married to Krasinski. He's following the Obama Foundation. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Is there anything else here? Oh, he's following America Ferrera. Melissa Barrera. Martin Scorsese. Jason Butt. Okay. Benj Pasek. Ram Garcia. Michael J. Fox. Rosebud Barker. Interesting. Well, from what we do know that, what's her name? Emily Blunt and Stanley Tucci just appeared alongside Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively at the NYC premiere of Another Simple Favor. Why are we having so many damn, Another Simple Favor premieres? It's literally a straight to streaming movie. The movie's going straight to Amazon Prime. Why do we have so many of them? Christina says, please hit the like button, guys. Yes, let's hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. Hilda says, Zach, I'm officially a subscriber. Yay for me and you. Let's get to 100K. 100K for real estate. What 100K for real estate? John Krasinski was in the movie If, the imaginary friend one. Yes, he was. I like how you say not today. Yeah, not today. Hugh Jackman was also there. Yes, that's right. Well, yeah. So Hugh Jackman still seems to be standing by them. Now we have Emily Blunt and Stanley Tucci. I mean, I do kind of fear for anybody that stands alongside them publicly because I feel like right now they're such damaged goods that the internet comes for whoever is willing to align themselves with them. Like, it's just the perfect time to lay low, and I feel like Blake and Ryan are doing the absolute opposite of that. Like, going to Wrexham, doing all these promotions for Another Simple Favor. Like, how many fucking premieres do we need for Another Simple Favor? I spotted at least 4. My goodness. Like, do we really need that many? Do we really need 4 already? Like, you just need 1 New York one, or the major cities, Kelce and Swift are still together. That we know of. Huh. Maybe Ryan paid for it. Elizabeth says, I pray that Taylor Swift never gets to be friends with Blake ever. I don't think they will. I honestly do not think that they will. Zack, send your friendship bracelet back to Blake. I don't think that they would ever, at this point. Oh, interesting. Emily Blunt and Blake Lively are friends. They go to fashion shows together a lot. Stanley is married to Emily's sister. Well, Stanley Tucci and Emily Blunt are also in The Devil Wears Prada, which is currently about to go into production for the sequel, the second one, which they're all coming back for. Meryl Streep and Hathaway, I believe Emily Blunt and Stanley Tucci are also confirmed to return for the sequel for Devil Wears Prada, which is supposed to be going into production soon. I love that we're kind of in this era where we have like Devil Wears Prada coming back and we have Freaky Friday coming back. Like I'm very happy for Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. I think very, very happy for them. How much followers did they lose? I don't know. I wasn't actively keeping count. Other than Deadpool, Ryan is known for any other notable movie characters. He's known for The Proposal. I think The Proposal, Just Friends. Just Friends is one of my favorite movies. Damn, and he's in it. Just Friends is one of my favorite movies. And there's The Proposal that he's known for. He was also in The Green Lantern. So before he became Deadpool, he was the Green Lantern, which is where he met Blake Lively. I think those what is it, Guy? Was that what it was? Guy? Or was the future one where he's in the Adam? Was that what it was called? The one on Netflix, Adam, where he's like the little guy. He was young. He's the little kid version, and then there's the him version. He goes back in time. There's a space travel. So he's in a lot of movies. You know, he's definitely had his career for sure. He was in Blade. Oh, Van Wilder. Yeah. Adam Project is what it's called. Free Guy is what it's called. Yes. Van Wilder. Oh, he was in Blade Trinity? Really? I didn't know that. The Proposal. Yep. Gigi says, yes, if you check anyone publicly supporting them, they usually have a financial connection. Probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because I don't think anyone is willingly being like, yes. Like, I don't think there's a financial connection between Taylor and Blake, but I think that's why we don't see Taylor standing by Blake. I think Taylor's like, yeah, I'm going to keep my distance. I want nothing to do with this. I want to get through my deposition. You know, Blake is sweating this. Hugh Jackman. But the fact that Hugh Jackman has agreed to stand by them and is still going to all of these, we don't see Gigi Hadid. We don't see Bradley Cooper. They didn't come to this. They were at the Deadpool premiere. They went to support Blake and Ryan at that. We don't see Gigi and Brad brought into this because I think Bradley Cooper knows he's getting deposed too. Whatever his connection was, he got to see an advanced cut of It Ends With Us before Justin Baldoni did. So not looking good for any of them. Okay, let's move on to let's move on to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yeah, we talked about Another Simple Favor, Anna Kendrick. Oh yeah, Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively were posing again together, so they seem to be playing nice, trying to shut down those feud rumors. They're like, we're cute, we're playing nice. Anna always looks a little uncomfortable. We had Stanley Tucci and Emily Blunt. We saw Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively supporting Wrexham out in Wales. Travis Kelce unfollows Ryan Reynolds, which doesn't help the feud rumor, or not the feud rumors, but the fallout rumors between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively. And then we had Dorit Kemsley from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills finally filed for divorce from her husband, PK. They've been separated for a minute, but then over the weekend, there were new photos that were published of PK kissing another woman. And that immediately, the next morning, Dorit, boom, filed for divorce, which to me is kind of, I don't know, the timing seems a little sus. Like if you file the next morning, that means one, you were always planning on it, or you had the filing ready and it was just sitting on ice and you were waiting for your attorney to give your attorney the go ahead. I don't know if okay, so I have a conspiracy theory with this. I kind of think Dorit knew that PK was seeing somebody else, like pretty seriously. And I think Dorit may have set PK up and had paparazzi catch them so that it could come out publicly so that she would have a reason to file for divorce. And I don't know what their prenup looks like. And I know after 10 years of marriage, technically you get a 50-50 split here in California because it's all considered community property after 10 years, and they hit that 10-year mark back in March. So I kind of feel like, I think Dorit knew. Dorit knew that PK was seeing other women. She knew that there was likely going to be someone or something. All you have to do is hire a private eye to follow them, to tail them, and then once you catch them in the act, boom, give it to the press. Press runs it. Boom. Tell the divorce attorney, hit it. Because then, I mean, you can absolutely, in that case, get more money out of this, right? Because then look at, there you go. Divorce. Easy peasy. Quick and done. So support Zack. Do not skip ads. He gets way more. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah, we have what, 3,100 people streaming the show live right now. If you guys all hit the like button, then we're that much closer to hitting 100K. So if you're not subscribed, definitely hit that subscription button. But I guess I'm not surprised that Dorit and PK are divorcing. I'm glad that she's finally doing that. I feel like Kyle is dragging her feet. I was talking to Donna over the weekend too, and we were saying, she's like, I think Kyle didn't want to be, or she said, I think Dorit didn't want to be made a fool the way Kyle's kind of been made a fool, right? Because like we're seeing Kyle still technically married to Mauricio, and yet Mauricio's over there macking every 23-year-old he can get his hands on. He's over there partying and doing all the things in his midlife crisis moment, and it's just not looking too hot. We'll see. We'll see what this, but I guess Dorit's gearing herself up for another season of Real Houses of Beverly Hills. She's getting ready for it. I watched, I did catch another episode of Vanderpump Villa. It's good. You know, I have to say, it's not a bad season. I still don't fully understand Stassi's role on it. So I'm kind of like, oh, okay. It's kind of interesting. She's like kind of a spy, but she's also kind of living there. Vanderpump Villa is fine. I started watching Love Hotel. At first, I wasn't interested. And then someone texted me and they're like, your voice is used in it, in the Shannon Bedore drama, which, because I signed a release form for them to use my voice when they used it on Real Housewives of Orange County. I didn't realize they were also going to use it on Bravo's Love Hotel, but they did. And someone's like, oh my God, they used your voice. I was like, oh, well, now I have to watch it to check it out. It's fine. It's cute. It's like background stuff. It's not anything that I'm like week after week waiting to watch, but you know, something you can throw on in the background on an easy Sunday while you're cleaning. Yeah, those were on my watch list. And then there was one other thing. Oh yes, guys, hit the like button. Jillian says we have 3.1 watching and only 600 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Hit it. One last thing that I did want to address before we wrap up the show, because I think that's everything that I plan to cover. Yeah, we covered another simple favor, Blake and Ryan, Blake versus Taylor, Travis unfollowing, Wrexham, Dorit and PK. So then the last thing I wanted to touch on, this one's a little bit more of a serious moment. And that was, I posted on Instagram last night this montage of my brother Ethan, and I just wrote this caption, and it says Autism Awareness Month is coming to an end. April's Autism Awareness Month. So I said Autism Awareness Month is coming to an end, and I wanted to take a moment to introduce you to this awesome guy, my brother Ethan. He's so smart and capable and important in this world. He's changed our world. You might not see him on The Good Doctor or Love on the Spectrum or Atypical on Netflix, but his role in this world matters. He's a lightning rod that has forever made our family stronger and closer than ever. He's defied so many odds and continues to show us what love, empathy, and patience mean. Ethan, I see you today and every day, a greater warrior than I will ever be. Hats off to you, player. And then I had a series up. People in the comments were like, oh my God, Ethan, congrats. So these photos were actually, or this photo specifically in this video from his graduation was last year. He graduated, and even if you zoom in, you can see it says class of 2024. So he graduated last year. I was just sharing this montage to show his highlights. There's Ethan getting his diploma. That's us on our family vacation last year. We went up to the mountains. This is my mom's 50th birthday party back in March. There's me and Ethan. There's Ethan when we went to lunch.
Ethan, are you 22?
Say, hey, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
All right, let's go.
Okay, ready? 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. This is us with my great aunt. Ready, Wolfgang? This is filming our family Christmas card. Ready, yes, or ready, no?
Thumbs up.
Ready, Wolfgang? You got his toys? Sky, look it. You have to throw it for him so he can fetch. Okay, throw it that way. Okay, ready? Look at Sky. Look. Sky, look at the ball. Go get the ball. That was when Sky was a baby. My grandma's birthday. I didn't like my hair in that last one. Okay, we're taping Valentine's Day cameos. We're taping cameos. Tell them we're taping cameos for your girlfriend, or your mistress, or your booty call. Yeah, so book a cameo right now. Tell them book a cameo, bitches. Book a cameo, bitches. All right, book it right now for me and Ethan. I don't remember what this was. I think this was just like a barbecue that we had at my mom's. There's Ethan when we went to a Mardi Gras event. They have like a Mardi Gras event in Fullerton. There's an organization called Fullerton Cares. They host this every year. There's Ethan right in the pool. There's Ethan's birthday party. Ethan, am I still in that? So that's him watching the podcast. Am I your favorite podcast to listen to? Am I your favorite brother? Yes. Ethan, am I still? So I wanted to share this one because obviously, Ethan's such a big part of our lives. And like I said, I talked about this, when a lot of people wanted me to address the comments that RFK Jr. made. And I don't want to talk about RFK here because I know people have different feelings about it. But I think one thing that I do see is there's so much division in the autism community right now. I saw Holly Robinson Pete came into my comments and she was throwing shots, and I was just like, guys, we shouldn't be fighting right now. And I know I've also kind of been a bit contentious myself, but I was like, we shouldn't be fighting right now. We need to come together and, just take a win for a win and just, appreciate the good that we have right now and just try to stay united and not allow politics to divide us. Number one. And I wanted to share these photos and videos of Ethan because, like I've said, I think people watch Love on the Spectrum. That's probably one of the more popular shows that highlights people with autism. And not that I think that there's anything wrong with that show at all. I think it's an incredible show. I think it's very empowering. I think it's fun to watch, but also that shows a very higher functioning form of autism. And I think oftentimes that's the only side that we see highlighted. And there are so many other families like my own, or even people that are, have loved ones with more profound autism, that struggle even more. And so I posted a message online and I was like, I hate the division that our community is having right now. And we just need to come together and be strong. And then this one mom that I know and really love and adore and appreciate, and who I've known for many, many years through my work in the autism world, she commented on it. And I appreciated that she commented, and I appreciated that she shared. Actually, I'll read a couple of them. But so I obviously want to protect her privacy, but she commented on a private post that I had made. And she said, less than 20% of children diagnosed with autism grow up to be adults who live independently. As some studies point out, only 5% do so without any support. The hurt feelings of this minority is far less than the concern to me and the real physical, financial, and emotional pain that the more than 80% of those affected by a lifelong disability that were witnessed to skyrocket to a pandemic. And so she commented this. I know this woman. She has a daughter with autism. And immediately somebody else responded and said, Lisa, hi, I have autism. I don't appreciate people talking about me like I shouldn't exist. We all have a right to live. When I tell you, when I saw this comment, it's funny, I text Donna Bowling, my friend Donna. I text her and I was like, I'm seeing red right now. I was like, I am seeing red. I was so emotional. I was so angry when I saw this comment, this response, because this specific person that commented to this mom. So first of all, this mom that I was referencing that was talking about profound autism and how there are 80%, of people that, are not going to be in that very high end form of the spectrum. And then this other woman that responded to her particularly, I know this woman. I have worked with this woman. I've had conversations with this woman, and I can tell you there is not even an inkling of my experience with her or working with her or speaking to her or interacting with her that would have given me any indication of autism. And I've worked with a number of different families. And that's not to say that autism isn't a wide spectrum. And that's not to say that there aren't people that are on the more higher end functioning side that, have a very different experience. And I don't want to negate or take away anybody else's experience with autism, right? But when I see people like Holly Madison or people like this woman who goes to conventions and is a host, we hosted together, we hosted shows together, we have interacted. I'm like, you have no idea. How dare you come into my comments? How dare you? I get it. You can have your experience, and I don't want to take your experience away from you. Personally, my interactions with you, I would have never in a million years guessed that you had autism. You drive a car, you pay your own rent, you do so many things that I get that there are people that are on the higher end functioning side of autism. I think Love on the Spectrum is a very good example of people on the higher end on the higher end of the spectrum when it comes to autism, right? This woman in particular, I would never even consider her on the spectrum, even in the highest form of the most high functioning people I've interacted with and worked with when it comes to autism. So the fact that she came into the comments and chose this mom to respond to, this mom who has a daughter with profound autism that's in a wheelchair, I'm like, sit the fuck down. You have no idea what other people's experiences are. So for you to come in and judge her for that when you don't realize what she lives with every day. I've watched this mother cry. I've watched her story. My heart goes out to her because I know what she deals with every single day. That for you to come in here and compare yourself, and then she was commenting back and forth and fighting with people in the comments. And I was just like, again, this is how other people get blocked in my comments when you get combative. And then she commented and she's like, I see you're deleting my comments on your post. And I was like, hold on. First of all, let me be very clear to anybody. Everyone, get out your handy dandy notebooks and know right here, right now, I don't delete comments on any of my content. I don't. Now, what happens sometimes is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Meta, sometimes there will be comments, TikTok, that get flagged for violating community guidelines or content that may be, more unsavory or considered maybe possibly bullying. TikTok's really good about sending me messages if like, hey, we removed certain comments because it looked like it was bordering bully territory, right? So sometimes if you post things that aren't nice, they automatically get hidden. Now, I do have the option to go into that section of hidden comments on any of the social media platforms and I can unhide them. I typically don't because if they're hidden, then the platform hid them for a reason, right? So for whatever reason, her comments were getting hidden and she wanted to get upset. She's like, you're deleting my comments and I just want everyone to know and read my comments and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, listen, let me be very clear with you, ma'am. Listen, lady, I know you, okay? And I want to be very clear with you. I did not delete your comments because I don't delete comments. And if anything, I want your comments to stay on my post. I want everybody to see your ignorance and your arrogance in my post. I want that to be on display so that people can see that this is what families like my own deal with is when somebody that, again, I would never, based off of my own interaction with her, ever assume or think or even have an inkling that she may have been on the spectrum. Again, this person lives a very normal life, travels, works, has a job, drives, pays bills, like, shows her tits on Instagram, very much living her best life. So to me, I was just like, it was just wild, 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 and it infuriates me because I'm like, come at me, right? Come at me and we can go toes all day. You came against the wrong mom. You picked the wrong mom on the wrong day. You do not know that mom's story. And how dare you try to compare yourself to her daughter? And I even said to her, too, I was like, listen, the real debate, since you claim that you have autism, the real debate is I want you to sit down at the table with my brother and debate your autism to him because that's the conversation. That's what you want to lump yourself into. And here's one thing I will say, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this because I'm saying this from a very positive and loving place. And I know that there are a lot of Housewives fans here, and you may be torn about what I'm about to say, but I can just be completely honest and 100%, Tamra Judge, remember? A few months ago at the end, I think it was in like October, she made a comment on her podcast about how she believes she may be on the spectrum, and I called her out for that. And I will tell you, she immediately read the room. And she, maybe not publicly, but I can only talk to my experience with her behind the scenes and why I chose to like ultimately like really forgive her and then go support her at the TwatsCon. But Tamra Judge put that out there that she may have been on the spectrum. And I can tell you, the second I called it out, she immediately was so sorry. She's like, I am so sorry. She's like, I would never try to put myself in the same category as your brother. She didn't understand it. She just was told a term on the spectrum and somebody validated her feelings and she ran with it. You know, she ran with it and used it and realized the mess that she had made, but she immediately, when I tell you, immediately pulled it back and was like, I am and I can tell you it was a very heartfelt and genuine, like, holy shit, I did not even realize that I was putting myself in a category. I didn't realize that on the spectrum, like what that spectrum really meant, right? Because I think any person with you know, a heart can look at that spectrum and be like, I have moms that I know that, I mean, one of them last night I was talking to that I believe is coming to one of my shows when I go on tour this summer. And I'm excited to see her because I haven't seen her in so long. But her daughter, I just went off to college and she reached out and she's like, I feel guilt every day because I know my daughter's on the spectrum, but she's not nearly, as profound as so many other families. That she's like, I feel guilty that like my daughter gets to have certain gains and advantages. And I understand that because I've had those same feelings of like, wow, our families discussed this, right? When I've brought, my mom and my family to the conferences that I used to run for families affected by autism, and they would meet and interact with other families, and you see profound autism. And even our family was like, wow, I mean, it's challenging and it's hard. And you guys, I introduced you to Ethan here right now. And they were even just like, but like, I couldn't imagine what some of these other families go through. So even people that are in this world have this level of guilt of like, I know it may be challenging for me, but like I know, but I couldn't even imagine what it's like for other people on the spectrum. So to have this other chick come into my comments and be like, I have autism, hear me roar, and like try to steal the thunder, I'm like, hold on. Let's be very clear. The diagnostic criteria has widely broadened in recent years. Okay. So a lot more people are now able to identify with autism or identify as on the spectrum. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't read the room and understand that if you're going to adopt that term, if you're going to adopt that title, that diagnosis, a lot of people we're seeing on TikTok are self-diagnosed, mind you. But if you're going to take that on, you have to at least acknowledge the people that carried that diagnosis for all the decades prior, right? My brother's now 23 years old. He just turned 23. And you have to acknowledge the people that held that torch, the individuals with autism that held that and have carried that and have really struggled for all these years because their autism couldn't have gone undiagnosed, right? Because it was so profound or so obvious or so clear. And the families that carried that, the families that fought for resources, the families that, fought for services for their kids, and not just their own kids, but other kids as well, right? So many people can come into this and now claim that they have autism and gain access to support and resources and all these things, but you can't negate the moms. I say moms, but there were a lot of dads and siblings and other people, but I really give a testament to the moms because they carried this. They fought for their babies hard. The teachers, the special needs aides, all of those people fought for this for decades to make sure that these services were available to people like that. You know, it's wild. But I will give Tamara Judge that credit. She absolutely apologized and said she would never consider herself, on the same spectrum as someone like my brother. And that meant something to me. The fact that she immediately took accountability and apologized. And now, Michelle says, our families of the 90s growing up with autism, now that was the real Wild West. Yeah, it was the Wild West. There was nothing there. Look at Jessica says, I have that kind of guilt. My son is on the spectrum and I know it could be worse for him. And that's so natural, my love. And I just want to, I don't want you to feel that guilt because I know we felt that guilt. I know other people that feel that guilt. You have these moments where you're so proud of your child for reaching certain milestones or going, somewhere. And then you also feel this guilt that that there are so many other families that won't reach those same milestones because the spectrum is very broad, you know? August says, my son is 19 and he will never hold a job or be able to live on his own. And that's just a reality that many people face, and I've tried to be mindful of how and when I share Ethan, and I try to share him in little doses, but I just felt like, especially right now, especially being triggered by that one comment, I'm like, no, if anything, he doesn't mind being in the spotlight. He loves it. He loves the attention. He loves when I bring him on lives or I've shared him on the podcast before. Um, and I love sharing him, but I also just try to be mindful because the internet can be a very distasteful place. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. Again, the fact that April is Autism Awareness Month and we're coming to a close, and I felt like it was an important thing to talk about and to discuss and to, at the bare minimum, just say, hey, there's a whole other side of autism that's now considered. Now it's called profound autism. That's the term that's used for it. And to any of the moms, siblings, dads, people with autism, I see you. I will continue to fight for you. I will continue to do everything I can to share my platform and be a voice for these families that I feel like are often shunned into the corners and shunned into the shadows. And you're never going to see them with that Netflix spotlight. And they feel shunned, right? Nobody wants, they see the looks that people give them in the supermarkets. We've had it, we've experienced it. Or when my brother's tantruming and we're out at a store and people just like look and stare, and it's just like, what are you looking like? What you want to come and would like what? You know? It's interesting, but it comes with judgment, and it comes with feeling like you belong in the shadows because you don't wanna share that. I remember there were even times where, I was even, I would tell my mom, like, "It's so hard for us to go out, and, like, why do you continue to make sure that, you're going to birthday parties and doing all these things?" And she's like, "Because Ethan deserves to have these normal experiences." I go, "But I know, but it's so hard for him, and it's so hard for you, and and it's always a scene everywhere we go, and there's always somebody that's judging and always somebody that has to say something." And she's just like, "Zach, that's life. And Ethan can't run away from life. He has to be part of life." And so that's one thing that I really admire about my mother. She always just did life. She didn't hide in the shadows. She didn't want to hide in the shadows. She was never going to hide in the shadows. And it taught me, like, we shouldn't be scared of sharing Ethan with the world. And we shouldn't be scared to hold space in the stores and in the rooms and at the birthday parties. Like, it's okay. And I was like, and it taught me that it's okay. I mean, I was so young, I didn't really understand it. I just knew it's hard. Like, why do we keep putting ourselves in situations that are hard? But it's like, it's not about it being hard. It's about that's life. And life is hard. And we just have to keep putting ourselves into hard situations and keep living with that, because the world is not going to erase Ethan. The world is not going to erase people like Ethan. And now that I'm now 31, I'll be 32. Now that I'm an adult and I understand things so differently. I think my mom was around my age when Ethan was a toddler, when we were going through this. And now that I'm around her age, when we were going through those, trials and tribulations, I look back and I'm like, you're right. You're right. And now I do have a platform, and I'm gonna say, "Fuck it." No, absolutely. We will take up space, and Ethan is important and he is valuable in this world, and we're not gonna hide him, and we shouldn't hide him, and we shouldn't hide any of these kids. These stories and these experiences matter, and I'm gonna keep shouting them from the rooftop, you know? Sorry. That's just, Michelle says, our views on how to get there differ, but I'm grateful that you're on here trying your best to get the same outcome. We're all on the same page. And that was my message to other people in the autism community, that, like, listen, guys, we're all on the same page here. Let's not fight. Let's not find the things that separate us and find the things that unite us. Yanni says, there's no shame in autism. It's the people judging families for just living that should be ashamed of their behavior. But it's also a lack of exposure. I'm a Gemini male. It's a lack of exposure. So I understand, and I do get frustrated with them, but it's because these families are often cast in the shadows and often cast to make their own communities and get to know each other and become friends with each other, because these people aren't experiencing autism or seeing the reality and the gravity of profound autism. And because people aren't exposed to that, they don't know how to react to that. They don't know, how to heal that ignorance, So I don't fault them, but also at the same time, I'm not going to be scared or embarrassed or ashamed. I'm going to hold strong, and I'm going to, stand 10 toes down. And I get it if you want to be pissed at me or if you don't like my politics or you know, are upset that I stood up for RFK because I do believe he's fighting for the autism community, even though people want to focus on the politics or want to mince his words. I can tell you he is somebody that has absolutely always fought for this community long before it was popular too. He you know, was boots on the ground fighting for this community for a long time. And I know the media will paint him a different way and they'll call him all these other names and focus only on vaccines, but I'm telling you there's so much more and there's so much that that man has done to help families like mine that I will continue to defend that. Carol Miner says the autism community is strong because we have to rely on each other because we understand exactly, and that's why we're the only ones that can understand each other. Let's not fight about it, you know? Thank you for advocating for us parents too. Absolutely. You guys are the real warriors, you know? Zach, please, can you help me? I want to order a Justice for Justin shirt, but they're sold out. Yes, my love, they were only available until April 11th. Maybe we'll do a different version or a different style. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something closer to the trial and we'll do another limited edition merch drop for sure. But yeah, they're unfortunately all out now. But yeah. Oh, all right. That's all I got for you. But again, feels weird to pivot, but just a reminder, guys, I am going on tour this summer. Can you do a summer version? Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking so. I'm thinking it. Zactivated tour kicks off this summer. We start in Dallas, July 11th, but get your tickets right now. They're going fast. So go. We're going to Dallas, Phoenix, Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles. Dallas, Phoenix, Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles. It's a live taping of the podcast. So get ready. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to be on stage. We're going to be spilling tea. We're going to be engaging with the audience. A lot of your favorite content creators are going to be there. I'm going to have a special guest in every city. So if you enjoy watching and streaming the show or the podcast online, definitely come out to one of the shows this summer. NoFilterLive.com is the website. You can get your tickets now at NoFilterLive.com. The Zactivated tour kicks off this July. Like I said, we're coming to Dallas, Phoenix, Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, and Los Angeles. So get it, get it, get it. Let's go, baby. Baby. Let's get it, get it, get it. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you tomorrow. Ciao for now. Love you. Look at Carol's coming to see me in Dallas. Yes. Lots of people saying they wish it came to Vegas. I know. I'm sorry, guys. We picked the top 8 cities that, where we had the biggest pool. So we picked your city for a reason. Come on down. Come on down. Come on. Rabbit Hole says we're almost at 1,000 likes on this video. Well, guys, if you hit the like button on your way out, be sure to subscribe to No Filter with Zack Peter, available on all podcast platforms, streams live Monday through Friday morning here on YouTube, and is available on Spotify. You can watch it there, or you can listen on Apple or whatever podcast app you like to listen to. It's available. Definitely continue to leave those reviews and, continue to show the show some love. Love you. Appreciate you. Talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Ciao for now. Bye.